This is verse 4 of the 23rd chapter, Gospel of Matthew. Jesus has responded to the religious leaders and posed a question to them they cannot answer, and now he's directing his instruction to the crowds as well as his disciples who have been witnessing this interaction. And he now begins to pronounce what amount to a series of condemnations against them, beginning with the following. So we have desmuusen. This is from desmuo. It means to bind. Deo is the underlying verb here, to bind, to tie up. So they bind. Postpositive da, so but they bind. Fortia. This is from fortion. It's a neuter noun here. It's in the accusative plural. So they bind burdens. That's the fundamental idea. They impose burdens. And then he begins to describe these burdens. The first word he uses, an adjective, is bare'a, from barus. It simply means heavy. So they bind heavy burdens. It's an adjective. It's in the accusative, plural, to agree with fortia. They bind heavy burdens. Some manuscripts include and some exclude, but I think the general prevailing wisdom is this actually is legit. Kai dus pas takta. This is from a adjective also. It goes along with barea. The word means really to be grievously heavy. It's unbearably heavy. It carries with an idea of just a crushing kind of weight. And so it's the burdens that are both heavy and then accentuating that almost beyond that which is bearable. Kai, connective, epititheosen. This is from tithemi, to place or to put. The epi, of course, has the idea of to place it upon. So they take these heavy, gruesome burdens and lay them upon. Epi will be echoed here in the preposition epi, upon tous, omus, the word for shoulders. Omos, the word for one shoulder. This is the plural accusative, or the accusative. So they lay them upon the shoulders, ton anthropon, of men. It's the fundamental indictment. They have these heavy burdens. He's probably referring to the tradition that comes down to sort of do an exposition of the Old Testament law. It's the opinion of some that he's actually speaking of the Old Testament law, but it's unlikely that Jesus would speak in such disparaging terms of the law itself, although it certainly did pose a heavy burden. But here it seems to be all of the glosses, the interpretive explanations that came down as part of the tradition that he so consistently criticizes. Continuing now, autoi, the intensive use of the third-person plural nominative pronoun, they themselves, but, da, to, doctulo. It's the word for the finger. This is in the dative, singular, and of course it suggests by means of the finger. They themselves, by means of the finger, auton, of them. Thelusin, from thelo, I wish or I want, are not willing or not wishing, wanting. Kinesai, this is a aorist infinitive, to move, so they're not willing to move the finger. This word kinesai, of course, our word kinetic comes from that, a certain kind of energy that has to do with motion. So they're not willing themselves to move auta, them. This is the idea that these are leaders who are willing to put heavy burdens on others, but they won't lift a finger to move those burdens, presumably themselves. And it's in that sense that Jesus is now beginning to launch his indictment against their practices.